What's your review of James Rolfe's autobiography? I mean, it was kind of cool. I mean, I listened to the whole thing, which a lot of books I tap out, you know, like 25% of the way through. I just get interminably bored and just say, F this, I don't care anymore. But his book kept me entertained the entire time. I mean, that being said, at the end of the day, I don't really think of it as like a great book or even like a particularly good one, but a good one. I feel like most people who read it probably would have liked to hear more insights about like what was going on behind the scenes with the angry video game nerd, since that's what he's most famous for. And unfortunately, that's kind of given a pretty casual treatment, and it focuses way more on, like, I would say like the first little chunk of the book is just like him being like an amateur filmmaker as a kid. The next chunk of the book, and this is like I think this is the biggest chunk of the whole book, is like he went to college, he got in trouble for stuff he did in the dorm. He was like dorming up with a bunch of animals, and he filmed it all, and they cut a movie from it, and they, you know, it got to the dean and everyone was expelled, and then he had to appeal the expulsion and blah, blah, blah. And there's like, that is like a huge chunk of the book. And it's almost like, yeah, I mean, you know, we kind of know you went on to be pretty successful, so there's not really a lot of tension with this story. I mean, it's kind of interesting if it was like a chapter or two, but it feels like it's a huge chunk of the book. That being said, it is a pretty interesting story. Then there's like a little tiny gloss over of like, then I became the angry video game nerd, made a bunch of fucking videos on YouTube, blah, 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 blah. And then I got to make the angry video game nerd movie. And then that's like the whole other giant chunk is him talking about the making of the movie. And his talk about the making of it is pretty interesting, but I still haven't even seen the movie. So I've literally read or listened to someone else read anyway, the entire making of process of a film that I've literally never seen and don't particularly want to see, you know? And that's pretty much it. That pretty much wraps the book. I mean, I don't know, maybe there's like a little, I don't remember if there's any sort of cool down from that. It's kind of just like, yeah, I achieved my greatest dream. I made a movie. And then that's kind of about where it goes. You write about himself seriously, or was it the character as the angry video game nerd? It was definitely more serious. Like, it wasn't without its humor, but like the book was more serious than it was humorous for sure. And also, you know, I really think back about that book, it seems like pretty self-involved because other people in the book seem sort of tertiary and almost just like they only exist to interact with him. Like no one else in the book pops out of the pages as like this lively presence that you're suddenly with as well. It's always just James. So he doesn't really seem to have much of a talent for writing others, but he knows where his own voice is, so it's pretty engaging. Maybe those are the parts of his life he found most impactful or interesting. I mean, I would assume that's true. I would assume that is why he, you know, paid the most attention to that stuff. So the movie is not even as good as the episodes that are good or decent. I mean, I don't really think it ever had much potential to be because it's not centered. I mean, there's no video game review to tie it all together. And like, so I kind of feel like I feel like it's probably just a really long James Rolfe as the angry video game nerd skit, but without the video game context, and it just goes on, and that doesn't sound all that appealing. It seems kind of like having to watch like a full-length movie version of an SNL sketch, you know? Now, in fairness, an SNL sketch when SNL was like watchable, but still like, it wears out its welcome pretty quick, other than in the case of Wayne's World, where I think they were able to elevate it. But usually those movies sucked. He reviews E.T. at the end. Yeah, and I did watch that review, and I have to say, like, the fact that that was the review in the movie, like, if his reviews were like that E.T. review, he would not have the fan base. He should have made that his most entertaining review ever. And really, it's kind of like taken on its own one of the lamest reviews he's ever done. Like, it's so forgettable. It doesn't come across like a real, authentic nerd review. So, I don't know. I just think it kind of sucked. But I guess my review of his book would be that it's all right. On October 6th, the Deep Fat Fried live show and meetup is coming to Las Vegas, featuring TJ, Scotty, Paul's Ego, musical guest The God Bombs. Get your tickets now, available in the description section down below. Be there or be dead. Or square. I haven't watched AVGN in a bit. I mean, I wouldn't use the words like pale imitation of what he once was or anything like that, but I would say it's not as lively or as energetic or as entertaining as it once was. The character feels way more stale and tired. You know, he does these like VPN ads at the beginning of everything that I think breaks the immersion a lot, because he doesn't even do them in character. You know, like you're watching the review and then he comes on as James Rolfe and's like, hey guys, Express VPN or whatever and then he tries to get into the nerd character right after that, and it's like, we just saw you as yourself, so it's kind of hard to now transition to I'm the nerd again. So, you know, I don't know. And another thing is like the anger just seems like less authentic. I think, you know, he just doesn't really seem to rage out at the games the same way he used to. The reviews have also gotten, I think, interminably long. Like if you go back in the day, like most of his reviews were like 7, 8, 9 minutes, maybe 15. And now like some of these motherfuckers like 30 minutes long. I'm not saying that's never warranted. There's definitely been a few games that benefited from a longer treatment. But a lot of the time, it just seems like it's being padded out. He uses too many camera angles and the theme doesn't play at the beginning because the cursing demonetizes the video. That's true. They just play like an instrumental version. It almost reminds me once again of like the scene in Wayne's World where Wayne and Garth sell out and they, you know, go on to the set of the new version of their show, and you know, all of a sudden it's got this sleek, polished intro that just sucks. You know, where they used to have the Wayne's World, and all of a sudden it's like Wayne's World, party time, excellent, and they're just like, what the f was that? And that kind of feels the same way. Like there used to be like this cool sort of like, you know, acoustic guitar guy that couldn't really sing all that well. He's gonna take you back to the past to play the games that suck ass, you know, and it's like that's all gone. And now it's all this like polished, and there used to be like he used to cut a different intro for every episode too. Like it was never the same intro twice. Now it's consistently one intro, consistently just the same goddamn thing with that same instrumental version that has like 1/20 millionth the charisma and charm of the real song. And then I'm James Rolfe here to tell you about ExpressVPN. And then 30 minutes bloviating about some game with like every once in a while I'd be like, oh, the goddamn sucks balls or whatever. I'm angry. Ooh, take that game. I'd rather have a buffalo in my face, and you know, then I don't know. I'd probably a skunk or something. I don't know. I don't know anymore, guys. He just kind of stares sadly into the middle distance like, hello, darkness, my old friend. So I don't know. I'm being overly mean about it. They're not that bad. Like, they're still watchable videos, but I just kind of wish that old spark was back. But I know a lot of people say that about me too. A lot of people are like, oh man, you fell off hard. So maybe it's just a fact of life. You fall off after a while. Personally, I don't think I fell off, but you know, who am I to argue with anonymous people on the internet, dude? Can't do it. Can't be done. I think Mike Matai brought a lot of energy to the OG, but but he's gone. I didn't even know he was gone. I don't really pay attention to like behind the scenes. So everything I'm saying is just what I've observed on his channel. I don't listen to like, you know, James Rolfe, piece of blah, 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 blah. You know, he's more concerned with the technical aspects like effects and stuff. Like he has some delusion. He's like an auteur or something, and it takes away from the character just seeming like a guy in his room. Yeah, I mean, if you read his book, you definitely get the sense that he takes himself very seriously as a filmmaker. And like, I'm not going to say he's a bad filmmaker or storyteller or whatever, because I've definitely enjoyed a lot of the shit he's done in that regard. But like, it's all pretty cheeseball, you know? So it's kind of weird that he takes it as serious as he does when it seems like, you know, so kind of like the results are, it's like he has like a Kubrick level perfectionism that results in a Roger Corman product. And I don't get that, you know? So it is kind of weird. Your humor's kind of dropped off as late, but I don't think we can hold you to that. Yeah, I mean, like, the part of the problem is really, honestly, and I've said it before, I'll say it again, just like changes in the platform, changes in what I can say, what I can get away with, all that stuff, you know? And it's like, I would love a platform that I could say whatever I want on that wasn't like also a Nazi hangout, you know what I mean? That'd be cool. You fell off means that you changed and didn't continue to give someone the exact thing they liked from you forever. Yeah. What a piece of shit I am. He'd rather have a buffalo take a diarrhea dump in his ear. He'd rather eat the rotten asshole of a roadkill skunk and down it with beer. He's the angriest gamer you've ever heard. He's the angry Nintendo nerd. He's the angry Atari Sega nerd. He's the angry video game nerd. Hey guys, it's me with ExpressVPN. You ever been wanting to watch something on Netflix, but it's not available in your territory, so you just use the VPN to trick Netflix, and then you can watch it? Buy that, please. Today we're looking at an old game. What a piece of shit it is. I'm being more mean than I need to be. It's not that bad. I don't know why I feel the need to exaggerate how awful it is. Like, oh my God, it's unwatchable, you guys. It's not. It's still okay. It's just not as good as it was. So I don't know why I feel a need to be a dick. Maybe it's because I still want it to be like that, you know? I get it. I get that you fell off, people, because that's what I wanted from him. I want him to be the same forever. You know what? I wouldn't mind if he changed, but change for the better. Bring it up a notch, man. More anger, not less. Crazier, not tamer.